Well, good morning. Um, and we talk a lot in yoga about the importance of letting go, right? Letting go of our worries, like we were just talking about, letting go of expectations, all the things that keep us from being in the present moment and that keep us calm and relaxed and kind of at our best self. So I was in my sunroom this past week and I saw this beautiful creature out my window. Can you see it? Yeah. And what a sweet, sweet little guy. And I was worried at first when I saw him because I thought, this is crazy. This poor little baby has been abandoned, and how will I protect him? And then I quickly went on the internet and discovered that that's what mama deer do. They leave their little fawns in a nestled area where they can kind of hide them from predators. And because this little guy has no scent, no one will know that he's there if he's visibly out of sight. And you can see by the size of the brick, this is just a pile of bricks on the side of my house. And he's not even 2 bricks long. So he must have just been brand spanking newborn. He is cute as button. Um, and I was thinking what a wonderful nature lesson on letting go. Because as a mama, I don't think I could ever let go of our babies, right? We're all very protective of them. But the mother trusted her instincts and made him as secure as she could, and then she let go of control. And so I thought today we could take a little lesson from the mom and just realize that we need to let go of control of our lives and our worries and our fears. And we need to realize that we have everything we need inside if we just let go of expectations, let go of worries, let go of fears. So today, I'd like to invite you to bring your hands to heart center and begin to just bring your focus into the room. Stack your ears over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips. Elongate your spine, make space between each of the vertebrae. Just float your eyes closed. And maybe let's take a life lesson from the mama deer. And in today's practice, let's just let go. Let go of any expectations of what our body should do today or how we should look in a pose or any of the things that are weighing heavy on our mind. Just let them go for this 60 minutes and just be present and find calm and peace in this moment. So bring your attention to your breath. And scan your body. Begin to bring some awareness to your face, to your shoulders, to your abdomen, your hips. Kind of just plug into where you are in this moment, how your body's feeling. Scan your mind, see what thoughts are floating around, and try to think of your mind and those extraneous thoughts that pop in and out of your mind like a snow globe. And as you bring your focus to your breath, each one of those flicks of snow, those random thoughts, just let them float down to the bottom of the globe, out of your mind's eye, and bring your attention just to your breath. Relax your facial muscles. Drop your jaw. Just kind of let your face and your neck soften. And remember to tuck your chin back ever so slightly so that your ears are over your shoulder. And one deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just relax your chin to your forehead. Just float your backs of your hands to your knees. And just take some organic movements in your neck, just kind of warming up your spine and your cervical neck. And maybe just some gentle rotations. And honor your body as always. Only do what feels comfortable. Never, ever feeling pain, just sensation. And then come to stillness, maybe float open your eyes. And let's just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Keep both sit bones on the mat. And then extend your right arm, thumb down out to the side and push that arm back as you drop your ear further over. Try not to raise your left shoulder. And then slowly release that right arm, bring that neck back up to neutral. And on your next inhale, elongate your spine and then drop that left ear over to your left shoulder. And just like gravity, pull it down. And breathe, relaxing your upper body, just dropping those shoulders away from your ears. And just take a nice slow start to this rainy day. And then extend that left arm, thumb down, palm facing the back, and push that palm against the back wall as you stretch your neck over to the left. And then bring your head back to neutral. Bring that arm in, drop your chin to your chest, and just let your head fall forward. Stretch out the back of your neck. All your nerves and your ligaments and your blood vessels all run through your neck. It's like a super highway. So if we hold tension in our neck, we kind of crimp the energy. So we want to stretch it out if we can, just so we're nice and neutral, and then come back up. And then exhale, push your head back, chin up to the sky, keeping a nice long spine. Jaw, maybe you want to do like you're chewing gum. Release some of the tension in your jaw. And then come to stillness. And then back up to neutral. Bring your hands to your shoulder and let's just do some gentle, lift your elbow up, stretch out your side body a bit, and down, inhale up. You hear pops and cracks, that's okay, as long as there's no pain associated. And each time you lift, try to keep your sit bones on the mat and open up your side body more. Use your breath. Last one. And take your right hand behind your right hip. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. And maybe twist a little deeper. Keeping both sit bones on the mat. Gentle twist coming from your thoracic. And then slowly release and unwind. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left hand behind your hip. Right hand to your knee. Lift and twist. Keeping that spine nice and long. Keeping the vertebrae spaced. And then come back. And let's gently make our way onto hands and knees. You can put a blanket on under your knees. And make sure again to spread your fingers, keep your ankles behind your knees, and try to have your the weight of your body on your hands is not in your wrists, it's between your thumb and your first finger. That's where you want to be mindful of opening up your fingers and grounding yourself with your hands. And then a nice neutral spine, neutral cervical spine, gazes down, and then begin to use your breath to take you into cat-cows. Exhale, pull your belly button in, drop your head, pull your shoulder blades apart. Use your breath on your rhythm. Just get warming up your spine. And if you want to add some other gentle movements along with it, maybe wiggle your hips to the side. See what feels good in your body this morning, what you need to do to kind of warm up your spine. I like to dip my hips over to the side to open up my side body when I come up into cat, and then I stretch over to the side. And then come back into cow. And then when you finish your last rotation, meet me in tabletop. Just a neutral spine. And then I want you to extend your left foot back. Engage your core. Keep a neutral spine. Push away from the earth. And then down, knee back to the earth. Inhale. Lift your right foot back. Push your toe to the earth. Keep your hips parallel to the mat. Gaze is still down. Flat back. And back to the mat. Widen your knees. Put your toes together. Sink your hips for child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front of you. Get a nice long upper back stretch. We'll take a few breaths here. And then slowly bring your knees back onto your hips. And now we're going to do that same spinal balance, but this time we're going to add our arms. So extend your left foot back like you're walking on the side wall, the back wall. Point your toe down and then extend your right arm out. Gaze is just slightly forward, keeping a neutral spine, pushing away from the earth. Engage your core. You are strong. Nice. Come back down to the earth. Take a minute and a breath here. And when you're ready, set up for your other side. Extend your right foot back. Heel is pushing back. Toe is pointed to the earth. Extend your left arm out. Nice long line between your heel and your front fingertips. Pushing away from the earth, and then come back. And take a minute, maybe a sway one more time to the right. Open up that side body one more time to the left. Come back, knees underneath you. This time, spinal balance, same thing, left foot back, right arm. And try to bring, if it's in your practice, your elbow to your knee. If not, just stay here or stay here wherever you're at today. So you bring your pull in and extend. In and extend. One last one, in and extend. hand to mat, knee to mat, and take that right arm out, and let's do a shoulder thread the needle stretch here. Sink your hips back, bring your right shoulder to the mat. And then slowly unwind. Come on back, set yourself up, and let's take this final balance on the other side. Ready? Extend your right foot back, left arm, find your balance, and if it's in your practice, bring your knee to your elbow, and extend, knee in, extend, pushing away from the mat with your right hand, extend, and bring it back to the mat. And let's take that left shoulder, thread the needle, and come on down. And if your shoulder doesn't come all the way to the mat, you can put a blanket underneath it. Just try to sink your hips back so that you get a nice stretch. And then slowly unwind. Stay right where you're at. I'm going to change position so you can see me. Come back to all four and then walk your hands all the way up to kneeling. Extend you might want to grab your blocks and have them handy on your left side. Extend your right foot out to the side. You can kneel on a blanket so that the pinky side edge of your right foot is parallel to the short end of your mat. And you're nice and tall, you're stacked up, your vertebrae are stacked one on top of the other. And then just take that left arm over and open up your side body. This is gate pose. And try to keep your shoulders facing and your hips facing forward. Left bicep by your ear. Just get as nice long stretch as you possibly can. Engage your core, come up. Bring that left hand over to the block. And extend that right arm up, over, and bring your bicep to your ear. Nice long line. Opening up that side body, keeping those shoulders and hips forward. Bicep by your ear. Engage your core, come on up, and bring that knee back into center. Switch the block to the opposite side. Extend the opposite foot, your left foot out, pinky side edge of the toe of your foot, parallel to the short end of your mat. Nice and tall. Try not to sink your hips over to the left. Try to be mindful of keeping them stacked under your shoulders. And let's start coming just our left hand to our thigh, and just stretching your right arm overhead, opening up that side body. Looking good, ladies. Relax your neck. Just breathe. Let go of any tension. Exhale, come on back up. Reach for that block. And lift up and over. Nice, long, straight line from the tip of your finger to the tip of your feet. And breathe. Don't hold your breath. Nice. And come on back up. Bring your knees together. Plant your hands back in tabletop. Curl your toes. Sink your hips a little further back. Walk your hands about an inch or two forward. And then lift up and back for down dog. Bringing your biceps close to your ears, spiraling in your elbows, and pushing your hips back. thinking of lifting your thighs up and off your knees, and maybe walking your dog, just pushing those heels back towards the earth and bending your knees so that you can stretch out your calves. And just take a few breaths here. Find ease in this pose. Let go of the tension in your neck. Just let your neck hang. And then come to stillness. If you were walking your dog, just let your heels drop towards the mat, keeping that V shape in your body. And then whatever way is comfortable, you can either walk your hands to your feet or you can walk your feet to your hands and come to a forward fold. Drop your chin to your chest. Just let your hands hang. Slight bend in your knees. Maybe you want your blocks in front of you if your hamstrings are tight. And then engage your core, hinge at your hips, and come straight up. Whew. Take a breath. And then let's come to the front of your mat. And we're going to do some modified sun salutations. So we're going to try to do a gentle flow. So we're going to inhale, lift our arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinge at your hips, forward fold, slight bend in your knees. Come all the way down, drop your hands to the mat, drop your head. If you need your blocks here, put your blocks in front of you. Just breathe. Inhale, put your hands on your thighs, halfway left, straight back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands on the mat. Step your right foot back, then your left foot into plank. Drop your knees. Pull your elbows and your biceps into your body. Let them hug your body and lower down all the way to the mat. Take a breath here. Keep your arms close to your body. Inhale, cobra. And I'm going to change my direction so you can see me better. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, curl your toes. Come back to your knees. Push off your hands. Come back to your knees. And when you're ready, lift your hips up to down dog. Walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet. Slight bend in your knee. Hinge at your hip and come straight up. Hands to heart center. So we want to keep a steady flow. So do it slow, but we're going to take that as our first sun salutation. So let's try it again. Ready? You're at the top of your mat. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. We're going to build heat. Slight bend in our knees. Hinge at your hips. Forward fold. Drop your head. Drop your hands. Engage your core. Half left. Exhale all the way down. Plant your hands. Step your feet back one at a time into plank. Drop your knees. Hug your body with your biceps and lower down. Inhale, cobra. Lift your chest. Exhale, come down. Take a breath here. Push off your hands. Come back to your knees. Curl your toes. Drop your hips back. Lift them up and back for down dog. Take 2 breaths here. Loose neck. And then walk your hands or your feet. Step your feet together. Bend and come on up. Doing okay? Good. Let's do one more. Ready? Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to heart center. Forward fold, slight bend in your knees. Drop your hands to the mat. Drop your chin. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the mat. Step back into plank. Drop your knees. Hug your body. Lower down. Inhale, cobra. Maybe this time you get a little higher. Exhale, come on back down. Take a breath here. Lift it back. And then up with your hips to down dog. Pushing those hips back, bringing your biceps close to your ears, spiraling those elbows in. And then slowly walk your feet to meet your hands, bend your big knees, and coming up. Hands to heart center. And build a little heat. Now let's just do some balancing poses. So take a minute to even out your balance on your feet. So pull up your toes and make sure that your weight is evenly distributed on all the pads of your feet. So you want the weight not to be tipping forward on the balls of your toes or not to be leaning back on your heels. So try to even it out. And when you feel you're rooted and balanced, just gently drop your toes. And just stand here in Tadasana, our mountain pose. And find strength here. This is a very active pose. It looks like a simple pose, but it's very active. So making sure that your ears are over your shoulders, shoulders over hips, always checking that alignment, and making sure that you're gently releasing any tension in your neck, so your neck is softly falling away from your ears. Your thighs are spiraling in. Your spine is nice and tall. Lots of space between each vertebrae. And when you feel ready, start to play around with your tree pose. So slowly begin to lift that right leg, remembering to not sink into that standing hip and opening up that bent knee, setting your drishti in front of you where it's not moving, and then play around with your version of tree today. And then slowly release that foot to the earth. Shake out. Take a minute. And get yourself set up on the other side. Make sure you're rooted and stable. Check your posture and your alignment. Tuck those shoulder blades down your back, hugging your spine. And then find your tree. Use your drishti. If you fall out, just come right back. This is where we practice letting go of expectations, letting go of judgment, no negative self-talk. Use your drishti, use your breath, and then come back down to the earth. Take your blocks, bring them in front of your mat. I'm actually going to show you this way so you can see it better. And I want you to step your right foot forward. I'm going to use my left foot right now so that you can see it better. And then I want you to bring your left knee to the mat. And make sure that your front knee is over your ankle. and we're just going to stretch. And you can use your blocks to sit up nice and tall this way. So you want your posture, your upper body to be tall, and you want the stretch in that hip flexor on the extended back leg. Making sure that that front knee is tracking over your ankle and it's not splaying to the outside or the inside. It's right in line with your hip. And you're just going to breathe here. And love on this pose. It's so good for you. Keep that front foot grounded on the earth. And like I said, the stretch is in that hip flexor. And then start to find that organic movement, slipping your hips back and pointing that front toe up. And getting a stretch in our hamstring. Keep that toe pointed, the front toe pointed up towards the ceiling for a deeper stretch in your calf and your hamstring. And then float back and forth on your breath between your hip flexor stretch and your hamstring stretch. Being mindful to keep your spine nice and long the whole time. So you're not bending forward. Your upper body is nice and tall and long as you're stretching. And then feel free to stay in one or the other pose for a couple of breaths. If you feel you need more work on your hamstrings, stay here for a breath or two. And maybe on your hamstring stretch, you can start to forward fold if that's in your practice today, just to get a deeper stretch. Just kind of play around with it, see what feels good for you. Just be careful of that front knee. Make sure it's over your ankle. And let this be your last one. And end with your knee bent. And then try to curl that back foot and lift that back knee. And you might want to walk that back foot forward a little bit, engage your core, and when you're ready, come up. Just straighten that back leg. Extend your arms up. And bring your hands back to your mat, to your blocks rather, sorry. Straighten that front foot. That front knee, pull that front knee back. Push that back heel towards the earth. You have your back heel turned out a little bit, so your back foot's sort of 45-degree angle. Your front foot toe is pointing straight forward like at 12 o'clock. And both legs are straight. The knees aren't locked, but they're straight, so you're getting a nice long stretch. And take that outside, that front foot, and turn the toe forward so that both toes are facing me, or facing whatever direction your mat is. There you go. And then just come forward fold for a wide angle forward fold. So now pay attention to where you're holding your weight. You don't want it forward on your balls of your feet. You don't want it back on your heels. You want to be sure to keep it balanced between the ball of your front toe and the back of your foot. So somewhere around your arch, the middle of your foot is where you want the weight. Hinge at your hips, forward fold. You can use your blocks to come down on the high setting, the low setting. If it's in your practice, to bring your hands down to the mat. And just feel a nice stretch in the backs of your legs. Drop your head. Try to release your quads. Let go of the tension and contraction in your upper legs. And then begin to bend your knees. So just bend from one side and then the other. Take a minute, stay on one side a little bit longer if you need to. Use your breath. Then come to stillness. And then take whatever foot is opposite of what you just did that hip flexor stretch and point that to the short end of your mat. Bring your blocks with you. So for me, it's my right foot. I think you guys are probably on your left. Bring that knee, your back knee down to the earth. And we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. Are you with me? There you go. Making sure that your front knee is over your ankle. Yeah. And you're getting that hip flexor stretch in your back leg. Your spine is long, ears are over shoulders. You can use your blocks for support, keeping a nice long spine. Just let that hip flexor open up. And then slowly begin that movement. Shift your hips back. Bring your front toe up to the earth, up to the sky, and stretch out your hamstrings and your calves. Sink your hips back. And then rotate between those two postures, taking your time, using your breath, keeping a long spine. Pulling that front toe up to get the deep stretch in your hamstring. And if you stop at this hamstring stretch and begin to hinge at your hips and bring your chest towards your thigh for a deeper stretch. Keeping those hips facing forward. And then just find your pace and your flow. Making it fluid so that we have those fluids around our joints. We're kind of waking it all up and moving it so we have better range of motion. And then finish with your front knee bent. And begin to curl that back foot, those toes, and lift that back knee. You might want to walk that back foot in a little bit. And when you feel stable, lift up. Raise your arms up. And then open to the side for a wide leg stretch one more time. And then heel toe your feet back under you. Slight bend in your knees. Drop your head. Step your right foot back, drop that knee. Take your left foot and bring it forward. And you're going to drop your hands to your mat and begin to just take it into pigeon. And take that up, take a block, get ready. Put it under your hip, the bent knee hip. Extend your left foot back. So you have your left foot straight back. Your right foot is bent in whatever angle feels good to you. If no angle feels good to you, your option is always to take it on your back and do the figure four. So if this feels better, listen to your body and take it here today, and then you can always do this. But if you're here, you want to make sure that your hips are forward and that left leg is sliding back, and you want to support the right hip with a block. Keep a nice long spine. Keep your shoulders in line with your hips. And just take a minute. You can even walk forward. You can take your block, rest your head on your block. And just try to find ease and softness here. Try to let all your muscles relax, except for that hip flexor that we're stretching. Just mindfully scan your body and bring your breath to those muscles that might be tight, like your glutes, and just soften. And your upper thighs, and just soften it. And let this your hips just gently open. Two more breaths here. And then depending on where you are, you find your way into pigeon on the other side. So if you're doing what I'm doing, curl your back toe, lift your hips, and then switch your legs. If you're laying down, you just do the figure 4 on the opposite side. So you're bringing, if you're me, you're bringing your left knee forward, and you're taking a block and supporting it under your left hip. There you go. Trying to keep your hips and your shoulders in alignment. The stretch is in your hip flexor. Use your breath to soften all the other muscle groups. And just try to find ease in this pose. And if you're doing what I'm doing, you can take a block in the front, always, and drop down. You can come down to your forearms, whatever feels good for you. Be careful of your knees. If it's too much on your knee to be in the forward position, then do it on your back. Nice stretch, gentle stretch. Last breath here. And then find your way out of this pose into Dandasana, which is that seated pose with your legs in front of you. You might want to lift your sit bones or put a little blanket under your sit bones if you need to. Make sure your legs are parallel to each other, toes are pointed towards the ceiling. And then bring your hands towards your hips with your fingertips facing forward. So your palms are down on the earth. Your spine is nice and long. You should feel it in the creases of your legs. Keep those legs parallel, those toes pointed up. Engage your core, lift nice and tall. And then begin to walk your fingers forward, hinge at your hips, and do a forward fold. Now, I don't want you to round your back. Keep your back nice and long, and just get as far as you can. You can even use your strap if you want to, just to guide you. Nice long spine. So the upper body is nice and long. You don't have a curve in the top of your back. Your biceps are hugged close to your body. They're not flailing out. And then just walk back up, sit up nice and tall. Arms up, hands to heart center. And bring that right knee in close to your body. Take that right hand behind your right hip and then twist. Inhale tall, exhale twist. And breathe. And then slowly unwind. Release that right leg back. Bend the left knee. Hug it to your body. Inhale tall. Take your right hand around your knee. Left hand behind your hip. Tall. And then exhale, twist. And then slowly unwind. And you're going to come into boat pose. So you're going to bring your knees, or modified boat. Bring your knees in together, hands under your thighs, and then begin to lift your feet off the earth, keeping your feet parallel, keeping them close. Engage your core. Pull your shoulder blades down away from your ears. And just sit here for a minute and begin to tap and extend. Extend. Use your core. Slow. Use your breath. Use your breath. And then take two legs up if it's in your practice. And down. And then up. And down. Extend your feet out. And slowly begin. I'm going to come over here to lower down. Slowly. Until you're all the way on the earth. And just take a nice relaxed breath here. Soften all your back muscles. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your spine, underneath your back. Grab that block and place it underneath your sacrum for a supported bridge. You can keep your knees bent in. And keep them parallel to each other. Imagine that you have a second block between your knees. Your toes and your knees and your shoulders are all in alignment like two railroad tracks. And just soften your muscles and enjoy this inversion. Just let your arms melt into the mat. Release any tension in your upper back and in your thighs, but be mindful to keep them parallel. And then slowly engage your core, begin to lift your feet straight up. And then bend your knees in and lift them up. And pump your feet, alternating feet. And then maybe rotate them in one direction and then rotate them in the other direction. And maybe have them going in two different directions. And then just let them come to stillness up here. Bring your knees into your chest. Bring your feet to the mat. Lift your hips up. Remove the block and slowly lower your vertebrae one at a time down to the mat. Widen your feet and begin to windshield wiper your knees. Just get some stretch in that lower back. Walk your feet back together. Take your right foot, bring it over your left knee, and then slowly let that left knee splay out to the side as that right foot comes to the earth, and you get a slight twist in your torso. Keeping your shoulders on the mat, your arms are teed out to each side, straight out to your sides. And you're just getting a nice little stretch. Top of your glutes, your waist, all those side muscles. And then slowly bring that left knee back up till it's pointed to the ceiling. And you're in a figure 4, and then release that right foot to the mat. Lift the left ankle, put it over your right thigh. And slowly let that right knee start to splay over to the right. Let that left foot come to the floor. Again, for a side twist. Your gaze is to the left. Arms are out to the side. Shoulders are flat on the mat. And then slowly release. Come back to center. And take whatever final pose you need to feel comfortable before you take Shavasana. So you can bring your bottoms of your feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana. You can grab hold of your big toes, come into Happy Baby. Or you can just find your way gently into Shavasana. Extend your legs out in front of you. Relax your arms. Relax your shoulders. And just breathe naturally. And scan your body. See where you need to let go. Is there any place that you're still holding tension? Start with your feet. Contract your toes and the arch of your foot. Tighten that contraction and then slowly release. Find your way up to your calves. Tighten those calves. Contract that muscle. And then slowly release. Bring tension to your knees. Pull your kneecaps down. And then release. Just breathe comfortably. And start to bring attention to your thighs. Tighten those thigh muscles. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. And come to your abdomen and your glutes and squeeze and tighten. And completely let go and let them soften and melt into the mat. And begin to bring your attention up to your torso. Tighten the upper abdomen. Pull your belly button in. And then completely relax. Feel those vertebrae just sink into the mat. And then start to bring your attention to your upper chest. Feel you're tightening, like you're tightening your pecs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze your biceps in close to your body and then release. And then maybe travel down your hands your arms to your hands and make a fist and tighten that whole arm on both sides. Tighten, tighten, tighten. And completely relax. Your arms are like light as a feather and they just float to the mat. And bring your attention to your upper shoulders and neck. You kind of shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Tighten them, tighten them, tighten them. And then completely let them fall away from your ears. Soft. And lastly, bring attention to your face. Squeeze all your facial muscles. Tighten your cheeks and your forehead. Squeeze like you're making that prune face. And then totally relax. And just let your breath flow comfortably in through the top of your head, all the way down through every cell and vessel in your body. Bringing with it relaxation and complete peace and calm. And just stay here in this place and enjoy the benefits of your practice. And if any thoughts float into your mind, imagine them like those snowflakes in a globe ball. Just acknowledge them and let them float out of your mind's eye. Slowly begin to bring your attention back into the room and gently make your way over to your side, eyes still closed. There's a quote from Buddha that I'd like to share with you. And he says, in the end, there are only three things that matter. How much you loved, how greatly you lived, and how gracefully you let go of the things that were not meant for you. So as you leave this practice and you take that message into the world, I invite you to let go of attachments to old experiences and invite you to make new ones. To let go of past hurts and allow your heart to be open to love and forgiveness. To let go of judgment and to make room for unconditional love. And to let go of control and just trust, like the mama deer, that there's a bigger force at work and things will all be all right as they're meant to be. So slowly make your way to seated posture. Eyes still closed, hands at heart center, chin to chest. So thank you, sweet ladies, for joining me today. Thank you as always, for sharing your practice. I honor you, and I invite you to take that light of yours into the world and let go so that you can have the best life that is intended for you. Namaste.